Ryan Anderson here, the driver of Son of a Digger, and you're watching Rod Rod's Championship League.
What is going on, everybody? Project Rod here, and welcome to Stop 2 of Tour Violet for racing here. Our fastest qualifier yet again was Max D and Matt Johnson, just absolutely putting on a show here so far this season. Arcanine 59 right behind him in second, and Northern Nightmare in third, Alien Invasion in fourth. So those rounded up our top four fastest qualifiers that will move on into the Byron as we look at the other qualifiers. And this is the leaderboards. After all that, Max D still holding on to that lead, a 10-point lead over Northern Nightmare. Dragon moving up to third, Avenger down to fourth, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall event championship. Again, it's going to mimic that of everything else that happened in qualifying. So looking at the W racing bracket now, be better with W Energy, Max D, Alien Invasion, Northern Nightmare, and Dragon having that bye run into round 2. So they have a great advantage here. Again, use code Project Rod to receive 10% off of your W Energy order. Be better with W Energy as we get into racing here in Colorado. Let's see who's going to come out on top on racing here. Round 1, we're going to be seeing Pirate's Curse versus Zombie as they're lined up and ready to go. And they're off. Again, an easy, pretty easy racing track. It's just that Yui after this straightaway and then a sharp right turn. So if they can master this Yui, which they both did, now it's all a matter of getting this sharp right turn up ahead. This one can really make or break you. If you do it, if you're just off just by a little bit, you'll end up getting a penalty or flying away from the finish line. And it looks like Zombie is going to be making it to the finish first. No, there's some question on whether or not he will receive a penalty. And looking at the replay, it looks like he's right there waiting for the official call. And no, he will not get a penalty. He'll be moving on to round 2. Here comes Blue Thunder now. Looks like he's going to get a bye run in the second round. Looks like Jurassic Attack was unable to make it after not making it to qualifying either. So he is he's done for. It seems like for the rest of the competition, we will not see the return of Jurassic Attack. So Blue Thunder here getting a quick bye run, just getting a time on the board before we move on to the rest. And it looks like it may have been for the best because he was facing a penalty there. So 25.038 for Blue Thunder, getting the win because it was a bye run. But it might have been for the best had Jurassic Attack been there. I don't know, maybe we'd see something else. Here comes the next race already down the straightaway, Velociraptor and Crustacean. Can Nova Strider move on to the next round like her husband did? Looks like Velociraptor with a penalty. So Crustacean has an opportunity here. As long as Nova can keep it straight here. And she's going to get just in. And what's the final call gonna be? Here we go, Velociraptor right there. Easy evidence of a penalty. But what about Crustacean? Looks like Velociraptor again being questioned on the finish line. Nova Strider being questioned on the finish line as well, but she's not going to get a penalty. 22.206 for Crustacean as she moves on, and this is the final race of round 1. Toucan plays in Avenger versus Kinda Fluffy and Gravedigger. Both of these drivers very capable of getting a racing win. So far pretty even coming into the Yui. Nicely done. You can see Gravedigger using that rear steer to make sure he keeps them in line. Going for a wide turn now. Avenger getting to the turn first, but there's maybe some trouble. Avenger may be facing a penalty. Gravedigger possibly too towards the finish. I don't know. We're going to wait for the final call right here. And no, Avenger not receiving a penalty. Neither did Gravedigger, but he'll be moving on to face Dragon in round 2. So this is the racing bracket for round 2. It's going to be Max D and Zombie, Alien Invasion and Blue Thunder, Northern Nightmare and Crustacean, and Dragon versus Avenger. Be better with W Energy. Again, our W racing bracket. Let's go ahead and move on to round 2. And as I mentioned before, it's going to be Maximum Destruction in Matt Johnson versus the Camera 9785 in Zombie. See what we have in store for us here today for this first race of round 2. Matt Johnson has been on fire so far, undefeated. Even though this is only the second stop, he's still undefeated on the season. Going for the turn early with an immense lead over Zombie. Huge lead. Not sure exactly what's going on with Zombie. He seems to have slowed down a bit. Matt Johnson to Max D taking it all the way to the finish. So it's no mystery here on who the winner's going to be. Zombie kind of tugging along there. Not sure if something's wrong with the truck. 20.489 for Maximum Destruction, and he will be moving on to the semifinal round. Here comes MMJ Producer and Alien Invasion versus Riley Strider and Blue Thunder, wasting no time as they are already off. I guess maybe they got impatient with the last race, I don't know, but they're both gone, hitting the Yui already. Pretty even so far. It's anybody's race coming to this right turn here. This is the tricky one, and it's going to be a close finish. I think Alien Invasion may have beat him, and he did. Just barely by half a second, beating Blue Thunder to the finish. So, he'll be moving on. Here comes Daniel Murray in Northern Nightmare versus Nova Strider in Crush Station. Can Crush Station make it to the semifinals? Or is Northern Nightmare going to make it again a little bit further in search of a racing win this season? Looks like Northern Nightmare getting to the turn first. Nova had a great turn, but it was not enough to take the win. So Northern Nightmare moving on to the semifinals. Let's see who he's going to race. Is it going to be Arcanine 59 and Dragon? Or is it going to be Toucan Plays in Avenger? Both of these guys very capable. Again, they were fastest qualifiers back in Stop 1. Avenger unfortunately didn't make the cut this time around, but again, more than capable. He has what it takes. Both of them a beautiful turn on the Yui here. Dragon going a bit wide, using a different tactic. Both coming to the turn pretty even, but Dragon making it to the finish first, getting the win over Avenger in Toucan Play. So we have our semifinal bracket ready. It's going to be Maximum Destruction versus Alien Invasion and Northern Nightmare versus Dragon. So let's see if Max D can make it to the championship round again, or if Alien Invasion has an opportunity to get a racing win on the season. Let's get the semifinals going now. Here we go, Matt Johnson and Maximum Destruction versus MMJ Producer in Alien Invasion, and they are off. Matt Johnson has been crazy fast so far. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with this season. Getting to the turn pretty even for both of these drivers. Matt staying close to the center line. Alien Invasion going a little bit wide. Matt getting to the turn first, and it's going to be Matt Johnson and Maximum Destruction getting that win. A very close race, as you can see right there. One of the closest we've seen so far. So, Matt Johnson has another opportunity to get another racing win. Here's Northern Nightmare and Dragon. Can Daniel Murray make it to the championship round again and knock out Arcanine 59 for the second stop in a row? Or can Arcanine 59 get some revenge here and knock Northern Nightmare out after he was eliminated in Stop 1 in Alaska? Both turning at the same time, and it's going to come down to a photo finish. It may have been Northern Nightmare, and yes, Northern Nightmare with the win yet again. Moving on to the championship round. So he's eliminated Dragon for the second time, and we have our final two, yet again, a repeat of Alaska, Matt Johnson and Max D versus Daniel the Fireball Murray in Northern Nightmare. Let's go ahead and get started with the final round and see who's going to be the W Racing winner here in Colorado. Here we go. Both coming off the stop pretty easy. Matt Johnson's undefeated record is on the line here. Northern Nightmare has an opportunity to get the first racing win and 12 crucial points to catch up to Matt. Both coming to the turn now. It's going to be pretty even. It's all going to come down to this, and it's going to be a photo finish. And it's all going to come down to the times, and it's going to be Maximum Destruction and Matt Johnson taking the racing win yet again. Mere milliseconds away from losing it to Northern Nightmare, but he is on top, going back to back here in Tor Violet, reminiscent of Black Pearl in Tor Blue, going back to back. So an amazing outing for Matt Johnson as he continues to dominate here in Tor Violet. This is the bracket for racing after this was all said and done. Now moving on to the leaderboards right there, an 11-point lead over Northern Nightmare now. Dragon in third, Avenger in fourth, Alien Invasion moving to fifth, and Blue Thunder moving down to sixth, so on and so forth. This is the overall event championship. As you can see, Max D still in line to be the overall event champion. Dragon in second, tied with Northern Nightmare, and then the rest as follows. Next competition is going to be Best Tricks, so be sure to check it out. Be sure to subscribe for more Monster Jam content and hit that like button, and we'll see you in Best Trick.